Because I am so busy, I want my goals to be achievable and motivating. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kiana. I make lifestyle vlogs here on YouTube, and today we are diving right into an October reset vlog. This is your sign to grab a cozy beverage, grab your iPad, your journal, whatever you need, and let's start dreaming about our October goals. So the way this vlog is gonna work, I'm just gonna go through my October goals with you guys. We're gonna create some habits. It's basically just gonna be like what a reset day in my life looks like. Reset vlogs are my favorite to film, and I did one recently for September. It was a back to school reset and it was really popular, so I thought I would create another one at the end of the month, because at the end of every month I do a reset. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity just to take you through like a reset vlog, kind of show you what the day is like when I'm resetting for a new month. So that's exactly what we're gonna do, and we're gonna start with my October goals. If you haven't seen my back to school reset yet, that is where I talked about. If you haven't seen my back to school reset yet, in that vlog I talked all about my fall goals, and so I was building off of my fall goals to make my monthly goals, and so these are my October goals. So for personal life and growth, I have planned a pumpkin patch day with my friends. I want to get some Instagram photos. It's kind of like a cross between personal and professional. I want to get some photos for my Instagram, but I also want to do a pumpkin patch day. I feel like that's so fun for October and fall. Moving on to career. My career goals in October are getting into a flexible routine with filming, editing, and posting. I also wanted to start working out a schedule for all my content platforms. So Instagram is 3 times a week. TikTok is gonna be 3 times a week, I believe, as well. And YouTube, I'm trying to do 2 times a month, but we may end up doing once a month if I can make it happen. Another career goal I have is to reach out to all my PR contacts and get in contact with them about Black Friday and holiday campaigns. It's always good to be one step ahead of the game in the content creator world because they're always pushing out the next season. So now that back to school is over, I want to start reaching out to brands about holiday campaigns because they are my favorite and they do take a long time to make. I feel like the holiday season is so busy in the content creator world. My education goals, I want to get an 80+ on my midterm. So I only have one midterm this year, and that is actually like so surprising. I've never had, of all like 9 semesters I've done at UBC, I've never had one midterm. So really excited to just have one, and I'm hoping to get above 80 on it. And then my second goal for education is just to stay on top of all my quizzes, assignments, and studying in all classes, just to really make sure I'm getting the best grades I can possibly get. I've got some goals for my health. So I want to work out 4 to 5 times a week. I want to make sure I'm getting 8 hours of sleep 5 days a week. And I also want to start waking up at 7 a.m. again, because I feel like that is my optimal wake up time. I feel like I've really been trying to get enough sleep, and I feel like I'm finally starting to get enough. So now that I'm getting enough, I want to be waking up at 7 a.m. so I can go to bed earlier and just really make the most of my mornings. I have an 8 a.m. class 3 times a week, and it's really difficult when the first thing you do is wake up and go straight to class because you don't get anything else done. There's always back end things I need to do for social media or just in general for school. So I feel like having that wake up at 7 a.m. will really help me get a lot of things done. Moving on to environment. So my main goal here is to declutter my bedroom, and I've got declutter shoes, declutter desk and surrounding area, and declutter and fix bookshelf. These goals have been the same since like I think August, maybe even earlier than that, probably the early summer. So I really do want to get those big decluttering projects done. My room is actually really clean right now, and that's what kind of sparked the inspo for filming a reset vlog today, because I got my room relatively clean, and that made me feel like, okay, if I can clean my room, I can now begin decluttering. So I am already kickstarting that process this coming week. The second goal I have in environment is to create a Pinterest board for bedroom inspo. So one of my goals for fall, if you saw my back to school reset, was to do a old Hollywood rebrand of my bedroom. For so long, I redid this bedroom in 2020, and then I never really finished the renovations. I never changed the light. I didn't really set up the furniture the way I wanted to. My bookshelf's a disaster and has been for the last like 2 years. So I really just want to make the most of this space and like do up my room to be nice for however long I end up living with my parents. For finances, I just want to track my expenses and spend less than I did in September. And then the last goal, this is just like one of my relationships goals. I want to find a day for my mom and I to go to the Fall Fairmont Tea. I saw pictures of it on Instagram and it just looked so cute. My mom and I try to do something together once a month, so I feel like that would be such a cute and fun little thing for us to do. And yeah, those are all my October goals. A lot of them are like really simple basics, just kind of like building blocks for like my life. And I feel like I've talked about this before in goal setting videos. It's important to make goals reflect that 1% better attitude. When you make a goal too big, it's going to be even more impossible for you to achieve it. So I'm really trying to just make my goals 1% better. Because I am so busy, I want my goals to be achievable and motivating. If they're too big, I'm not going to feel motivated to achieve them. And I'm also going to feel like I can't accomplish them in a short amount of time. So those are all my October goals. Leave your goals in the comments down below because I'd love to hear what some of your goals are. Building a habit tracker is really easy. All you have to do is do one vertical line and one horizontal line. The horizontal line should have enough room to number all 31 days of the month, and the vertical line should have enough room to list all your habits. That's why it's really great if you use a dot grid journal, because the spacing is already made for you. You can just count the dots along the pages, but obviously use whatever you have. While I'm creating the spread, let's take this time to talk about the habits I decided to choose for October. So if you could tell from my October goals, I really was focused on building strong routines and basically using that routine to help me achieve my goals. So I'm constantly making progress in whether it's school or my career with all my different social media platforms or just towards my health goals in general. Having those solid routines allows you to fit in habits that help you achieve your goals. So that's kind of where I was going with these habits I selected. So we've got in bed at 10 p.m. I want to be in bed at 10, not even starting my night routine. I want my bedtime portion of my night routine to start at 10 p.m. So that means my skincare and all the other night routine habits that you saw in my last video should already be done, and I should be in bed at the latest 10 p.m. Then I want to wake up at 7 a.m. As I said earlier, I feel like if I wake up at 7 a.m., I get a lot done and I'm not overtired. So that's like my optimal wake up time. I want to practice daily gratitude. I want to be tracking my workouts to make sure I know which days I'm working out. I also want to track the days I closed my rings, because I personally feel like closing my rings is a really good indication of how much exercise I'm doing, not just like in the gym, but also like how often I'm getting up, how stagnant I really am throughout the day. So I personally love the indicator of closing my rings to let me know how active I'm being throughout my days. I know it's not for everyone, but I personally love it. I want to stretch every time I work out, so I put stretching down as a habit so that every time I see that I've worked out, I should have stretched that same day. 64 ounces of water, that's my daily water goal, and I feel like I make it most of the time. It really just depends on how much I'm drinking, like coffee, wine, etc. So keep that just to like observe it. Taking care of my nails every day. You guys know I'm trying to grow out my nails. That's one of my main, I'd say, like beauty goals right now. So I'm tracking my nail care, and nail care just encompasses like, am I painting my nails, using hand cream, clipping them, filing them, etc. No alcohol. I just like to track the days I do have alcohol. So by tracking no alcohol, I get to see which days stick out as days I've had alcohol. And that just helps me depict like what my diet looks like. And if I feel shitty, I can usually chalk it up to either that or how much sugar I'm having, which is the next habit. I've got declutter physical and digital. I'm trying to make this a daily habit, so decluttering my room doesn't feel so overwhelming. You guys know this has been a goal of mine all year, and I've been putting it off pretty much any chance I get. So that's a daily habit. Under $10 spent. This is just a habit that I have. I want to make sure I'm not spending money on things I don't need. So tracking how much money I'm spending in general helps me, but also tracking on days I basically don't spend any money at all. Flossing as well. I really want to pick up my floss game because I want to buy a water pick. So I want to track what days I'm flossing. Oral health is something that's really important to me, so I feel like I'm always trying to keep up with it. I've got skincare and SPF. I have to get both, so I want to make sure that I'm putting on my SPF every day and I'm doing my skincare both in the morning and night. Moisturizer is for my body. I want to keep my skin super hydrated, especially in the winter. October. Next habit we have is reading. I track this because I'm trying to reach my reading goal for 2023, and we'll talk about that later in the video. And then studying and editing are basically just not really habits, but I want to make sure that I'm doing a little bit of studying and a little bit of editing every single day. I feel like this will make my life so much easier. Even if I study or edit for 15 minutes, that's 15 more minutes done that I don't have to do the next day or when I'm in a crunch. And those are my habits for October 2023. I feel like they're all pretty approachable, and because I've been doing this habit tracking process for so long, I don't feel overwhelmed by this at all. If habit tracking is new to you, I would definitely start with a small amount of habits, maybe 3 to 5, 10 if you're feeling ambitious, because you don't want to bite off more than you can chew. Always start where you're at and focus on getting 1% better each day. So if you watched my nighttime routine that just went up last week, this is Love, and this is a Cinderella retelling. I'm really in like my fairy tale era. I'm not going to go into all the details of this book, but what I will say is if you love fairy tales, if you love Disney, if you like dark twists, you're definitely going to like this book series. And it's actually not even a series. You can read all the books in any order you want. I'm on the Cinderella book. I really love it. I'm just over halfway. I feel like these books are like perfect for this time of year, like Halloween. It's like a classic tale, you know, and then something goes wrong, so it doesn't like pan out the way you normally think it would. So definitely loving this. I want to read it tonight. I wanted to read it last night, but I didn't get around to it. So definitely gonna hopefully finish this book. I don't have any books that are really like on my radar, like I want to read like instantly. I have such a long TBR, but I would love to finish that book I'm reading right now and read The Hex. I don't know too much detail about it, but I think it's about witch who like puts a hex on her ex-boyfriend or something. I don't know. It's a cute little fun read for Halloween time. So hopefully I will finish that book and I'll get to read The Hex soon, and I'll give you guys an update in the next vlog if I do. I'm really hoping I can like finish my reading goal. I definitely think I do, but I definitely go through phases with reading where it's like I love reading and I love just like sitting in my bathtub reading a book or just reading before I go to bed. But I definitely get in vibes where sometimes I'm like, oh, like I don't want to take the effort to like read. I would just rather like be on autopilot and put on a show because I'm so used to like using my brain throughout like every part of my day. But it's definitely good to read. I feel like it's such a nice brain break in a way that like you don't have to think, the story's being told for you, and it's nice to just like get lost in it. Like I used to tell people like when I read, and I'm sure people who love to read feel like this, but when you're really into a book and immersed in it, it almost feels like instead of reading, you're like watching a movie in your head. That's how I used to describe it to people, like because I used to be a huge reader. Like I used to read so much every day, and I just have not got back into that since honestly before I started high school. And the irony is I'm about to finish university in less than a year, so I really got to get back on my reading game. But I love that it's such a nice escape, and it like transports you into a new world. I feel like that's what I wanted to be before I started pursuing social media. Like I feel like I wanted to be an author. So, and I love writing and obviously and all these creative things, but yeah, so definitely excited about reading, and we'll give you guys an update in the next vlog. Each month I reset my digital planner setup and I go onto Pinterest and I start searching for images that resonate with what I want for the current month ahead. I save all my images to a specific section on my 2023 board that'll be dedicated to the month. So for this month, October. And then I go into my digital planner setup and I kind of just get a vibe of what I'm looking for. I try to pick images that reflect my monthly goals or my habits or the routines I want to have, basically just whatever I'm focusing on for the month. And there's a couple components to how I like to design my digital planner. You can obviously design it any way you like, but I thought I'd walk you through the way I do mine. So I always create a banner, and I usually use 5 images on the banner. I try to pick cohesive images because me personally, I don't know if I'd say I have a particular aesthetic I like. Every month I feel a little bit different depending on what I want, what I'm looking for. So I try to choose images that are cohesive so it's appealing to my eye. This month I try to theme my banner slightly around my Halloween costume, so a little hint to what I'm going to be for Halloween this year, but that was what I was doing for my banner. And then I start editing the previous template. So I just took a template from last week that I was using in September, and I'm just basically redoing it, taking off all the old images. I like to title my weeks based on like the main thing going on. This is something new I've been doing and I really like it. I feel like it helps me get a better focus for the week when I make my weekly intention. So I'm just taking all the tasks from last week off. I'm changing the dates on the days of the week. I'm looking for some specific images that are going to fit with the banner I created for the weekly planner setup. And also, I just want to add that if this is taking you a long time, I literally was doing this for like over an hour and I edited down the clips to 2 minutes. So that is completely 100% normal, but this is the finished result. Just added some images from Pinterest. I added my cute little spooky banner and I'm so happy with how it looks. I feel like this is so exactly what I want for October and I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. That brings us to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like this reset vlog. I'm gonna try to do them at the end of every month because I feel like you guys really like my reset vlogs. I've been really enjoying them. So let me know in the comments down below if you want to see one of these in a month's time. And I will see you guys in the next one. I've been attached, just looking out. We move so fast, was moving south. My secret sauce, in and out. Miss how you